Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Chapter 37.
Our story kicks off with Shu Shu. He's a strategist, and he's just shown up in Xuchang. Who greets him? Well, it's Cao Cao himself, and he doesn't beat around the bush.
No, he cuts right to the chase, asks him straight up, why were you serving Liu Bei before?
And Shu Shu, well, he explains, talks about his past struggles, how he was sort of drifting aimlessly for a while.
Right, until he found common ground with Liu Bei over in Jinye.
But then he quickly adds something important. He says it was a letter from his mother that made him come back to Xuchang.
Ah, the letter. This is where it gets really compelling, doesn't it?
It really does. Because when Shu Shu finally gets to see his mother, he's eager, obviously, wants to greet her.
And her reaction is just instantaneous and furious.
Yeah. The text says she slams her hand on the table, right away calls him a fool.
A fool for abandoning Liu Bei, who she sees as, the righteous one. A descendant of the Han imperial house.
Exactly, and she absolutely condemns him for joining Cao Cao, calls Cao Cao a treacherous rebel.
She has this really strong belief about loyalty and filial piety. That phrase, Zhongshao Bunan Liangquan.
Loyalty and filial piety cannot be perfectly combined.
Right, and for her, it means you have to choose the just path. She sees his coming to Cao Cao as a total betrayal.
A betrayal of his ancestors. She even asks him, what face does she have to see him now? Says he's disgraced their whole lineage.
It's incredibly harsh. And then the culmination.
Yeah.
Just shocking.
She hangs herself from the beam.
It's, such a devastating scene.
Absolutely brutal.
Yeah, and Zhu Shu's grief is just total. He collapses, weeping. But what's really striking, I think, is his immediate reaction towards Cao Cao.
He refuses everything.
Completely. Won't accept any gifts, any condolences, nothing. Instead, he takes his mother's body, buries her on the south plain of Xuchang, and just stays there, mourns, guards her tomb.
Wow.
And, this isn't just personal tragedy. It really illustrates the absolute, almost non-negotiable nature of these values back then. Loyalty, filial piety.
They trumped everything else, even survival.
In many ways, yes. It shows how personal reputation, family honor, your face, it was all tied up with who you aligned yourself with. It could literally be a matter of life and death, as Mother Zhu's terrible choice shows us.
And it wasn't just kept quiet, was it? Her act had ripples.
Oh, absolutely. It resonated. Her sacrifice was actually immortalized in a poem, The Eulogy for Mother Zhu.
Did you resign?
Exactly. And this poem, it praises her virtue, her incredibly strong moral stance, that fierce loyalty, and also her fear, her terror, really, that her son might disgrace their family name.
So the poem frames her act not as despair, but as principle.
Precisely. As a powerful declaration of principle. Upholding those core values, loyalty and piety, even, unto death. It shows you how deeply those values ran in that era.
Okay, so we've just seen this incredibly intense human cost of loyalty, really raw. Let's maybe switch gears a bit. Let's look over at Cao Cao. While this intense personal drama is unfolding, what's he focused on?
It is quite the shift, isn't it? From raw emotion to cold strategy. Cao Cao, well, he's ever the pragmatist.
Always looking ahead.
Always. His mind is already on the next big thing, launching a campaign to the south.
But he doesn't just charge in. He's got advisors. Sun Yu steps in.
Right. Sun Yu offers some pretty prudent counsel. Basically says, hold on, it's too cold right now. A big military push isn't ideal. Wait till spring.
Practical advice. Strategic foresight.
Definitely. And Cao Cao, maybe a bit surprisingly, he listens. He takes the advice.
But he doesn't just sit around waiting for spring, I assume.
Not a chance. He takes that waiting period and uses it. He starts building the Xuanwu Pond.
Xuanwu Pond, diverting water from the Zhang River.
Exactly. And this isn't, for pleasure cruises. It's specifically designed to train his navy.
Ah, so he's thinking long-term, naval warfare preparation, meticulous.
Extremely meticulous. It really underscores his strategic depth.
It's pretty striking, though, that contrast. You have Shu Shu consumed by grief.
Utterly devastated.
And then Cao Cao almost immediately pivoting to grand strategy, logistics, building ponds for naval training.
It gives you a glimpse, doesn't it, into that sort of cold, calculating side of power. The sheer scale of planning needed for war, often totally disconnected from, individual human suffering.
Meanwhile, far away from Cao Cao's pond building, Liu Bei is on his own quest. A really crucial one for him.
Right. He's not focused on naval training, that's for sure.
No, he's actually making his own preparations. Gathering gifts, getting ready to go visit someone.
Zhuge in Longzhong.
The famous sleeping dragon. Liu Bei is really setting the stage here, hoping this meeting will be, pivotal for his cause. And just as he's getting ready, there's an unexpected visitor.
Sima Hui arrives?
Yeah, and the description is quite vivid. High crown, broad belt. Looks pretty extraordinary.
Makes an entrance.
He does. And Liu Bei, who's always looking for talent, immediately thinks, wait, could this be Zhuge Liang?
Hope springs eternal for Liu Bei. But Sima Hui has some immediate insights to offer.
About Xu Shu.
Yes. When Liu Bei mentions Xu Shu leaving because Cao Cao had supposedly imprisoned his mother and faked that letter, Sima Hui just sees right through it. Instantly. He says essentially, no, I know Xu Shu's mother. She's a woman of profound virtue. Even imprisoned, she would never send a letter telling her son to join Cao Cao. He exposes the trick.
Wow. And then he says something even more chilling.
He does. He says prophetically that if Xu Shu hadn't gone back, his mother might have survived. But because he did go back, falling for the trick, her death was basically inevitable. Why? Because of her overwhelming shame.
That's incredible insight. It really shows Sima Hui's deep understanding, not just of events, but of character.
Virtue. Exactly. He understands the core values driving these people. He sees beyond the surface deception to the moral reality underneath. It suggests that, true wisdom isn't just strategy. It's about discerning character, understanding what makes people tick at the deepest level.
Okay, so Sima Hui's established his credentials as incredibly perceptive.
You could say that.
So now Liu Bei naturally circles back to the reason Xu Shu left in the first place, his recommendation. He asks Sima Hui, okay, what about this Zhu Liang guy? What's he really like?
And Sima Hui's first reaction is, well, it's almost funny in a dark way. He sort of laments.
That quote, right? Yuanzi, if you wanted to leave, just leave.
Why did you have to stir him up to suffer? Or more like, why drag him out to agonize over all this?
Implying it's going to be tough for Zhu Liang.
Immensely tough.
Yeah.
It's not just a witty line. It really hints at the huge burden, the monumental challenges that await someone with Zhu Liang's kind of genius, foreshadowing the difficulties ahead.
Then Sima Hui starts describing him more directly, contrasts him with his friends.
Right. Kui Zuping, Shi Guangguan, Meng Gongwei, and Su Yuanzi himself. Sima Hui says they focused on Jingchun, purity, precision, maybe meticulous detail.
The Zhu Liang.
Zhu Liang focused on Dalu, the big picture, grand strategy. He apparently used to sit around maybe singing and point to his friends saying, oh, you guys will become provincial governors, commandery administrators, kind of predicting their futures.
And when they asked him about his own ambitions,
he'd just smile, wouldn't answer directly. But crucially, he often compared himself to legendary figures, Guanzong and Yu Yi.
Which are huge names from past eras, suggesting his talent was, what was the word?
Bokeliang Yi. Immeasurable.
Okay, now, comparing yourself to Guanzong and Yu Yi, that's bold.
Very bold.
Yeah.
And Gran Yu, who's standing right there with Liu Bei, he clearly thinks so too. He speaks up, expresses some doubt, like, really, those guys, their accomplishments were world-renowned.
He's skeptical.
Understandably.
Yeah.
But Sima Hui's response is just stunning. He basically says, oh no, you misunderstand.
He doubles down.
He more than doubles down. He declares Zhu Liang is even greater than Guanzong and Yu Yu.
Even greater. Who does he compare him to then?
The absolute legends.
Okay.
Zhang Zia, who helped found the Zhou dynasty, and Zhang Zifan, who helped found the Han dynasty, the founder's key advisors.
Wow, okay. That's elevating him to the highest possible level.
Right. The text says Zhang Jieran. Everyone was just astonished, flabbergasted, completely reframes Zhuge Liang's potential before Liu Bei even meets him.
And Sima Hui connects this to some local reputation.
Yeah, he mentions an old saying, or maybe an observation by an astrologer named Yin Kui, about how the Yingchuan region is known for producing wise people. It sort of lends this air of destiny to Zhuge Liang's predicted greatness.
So, after dropping these bombshells, leaving everyone reeling, Sima Hui just leaves.
Pretty much. He abruptly says goodbye. But as he's leaving, he looks up at the sky, laughs, and delivers this final, incredibly poignant line.
The sleeping dragon line.
Wolongsude kizu budikishi shizai. Which translates to something like, the sleeping dragon, though he has found his lord, has not found his time, what a pity. The second attempt, Liu Bei is heading back to Longzong.
Yes, still without that key strategist he so desperately needs. And he's got his sworn brothers with him, Wan Yu and Zhang Fei. Their goal? Find the sleeping dragon, Zhuge Liang. They're determined.
Okay, so they're on their way, and pretty quickly they run into something unexpected, don't they? Farmers.
Yeah, farmers out in the fields. But they're not just working, they're singing. And the song, well, it's not just a simple ditty.
Uh-huh. It's got layers?
Yeah.
What are they singing about?
It's really quite profound, actually. It goes something like, heaven like a round canopy, earth like a chessboard. You know, people are like black and white pieces, striving for glory or dealing with disgrace.
Wow.
And it continues, the glorious are at ease, the disgraced are busy. Then the key line, there is a recluse in Nanyang, sleeping soundly.
Sleeping soundly. That's got to be him, right?
Liu Bei thinks so. He immediately picks up on the significance. He asks the farmers, hey, who wrote that song?
And they tell him.
Mr. Wulong, the
Yeah.
sleeping dragon himself. And then they give him directions. Go to Wulong Ridge, find the thatched hut in the woods.
So the anticipation must be huge for Liu Bei now. He's got directions. He's heard this prophetic song.
Absolutely. And adding to that, the source we're using includes this ancient poem describing Wulong's home. It really builds the mystique.
Okay. What does the poem tell us? Does it give, like, a feel for the place?
It really does. It paints a picture. It says the place is 20 little west of Xiangyang City, up on a high ridge by flowing water.
Nice setting.
Yeah, and the description is very metaphorical. The ridge is like a coiled dragon stone in twine, and there's a single phoenix in the pine shade. It's clearly hinting at the occupant.
So it's describing the man through the landscape, almost.
Exactly.
Ugh.
And the hut itself, humble, a half-open wattle gate, a simple thatched hut. But inside, a high person sleeping.
Still sleeping?
Still sleeping soundly, apparently. And the surroundings, green bamboo, wildflowers, but also stacks of yellow scrolls.
So scholarship. Books.
Definitely. And it mentions no white-clothed guests, meaning, no ordinary or unlearned visitors. He keeps company with nature, it seems. Apes offer fruit. Old cranes listen to scriptures.
That's incredible imagery. Cranes listening to scriptures. Does the poem mention anything else inside the hut? Anything about his, like, personal items?
It does. It mentions a renowned kin, a zither in a fancy bag, and a precious sword with 7 stars hanging on the wall.
A zither and a sword.
Okay.
So culture and maybe martial ability, strategy.
Precisely. It's that duality that the scholar, the artist, but also the potential warrior or strategist. The poem sums him up as this elegant and serene gentleman, just cultivating himself, waiting for the spring thunder to awaken him. The implication is clear. He's waiting for the right moment, the right call to action, when his single shout can bring peace to the world.
What a setup. Okay, so Liu Bei finally gets there. He's heard the song. He knows the description. He must be approaching with, like, maximum respect.
Yeah, absolutely. He announces himself with his full, very long title, Han Left General, Marquis of Yuchengting, Governor of Yuzhou, Imperial Uncle Liu Bei.
Quite a mouthful.
Right. And the response from the young servant boy at the door is just brilliant.
What does he say?
He basically says, whoa, I can't remember all that. And then just, oh, you mean Liu Bei.
Huh. Cuts right through it. Love that.
It's just such a great little moment. But then, uh-oh, the bad news.
Don't tell me he's not there again?
Afraid so. The servant says, Sir went out early this morning. Where did he go? His whereabouts are unknown. When will he be back? No fixed date. Could be days, could be, 10 days or more.
Oh, man. Poor Liu Bei. Second time striking out. How does he take it?
Deeply disappointed. The text uses a phrase, chuchang buing, which really conveys this sense of, lingering sadness and frustration.
I bet. And Zhang Fei? What's his reaction?
Zhang Fei, predictably, he's had enough. Let's just go. This is pointless. He's always the impatient one.
Yeah, sounds like him. What about Guan Yu?
Guan Yu is more level-headed. He suggests, maybe come back another time, or perhaps send someone ahead to check if he's home first. Practical advice.
Smart. And Liu Bei?
He agrees, eventually. He decides to leave a message for Zhu Guiliang, and then they depart. It shows his patience, really, even though he must be incredibly frustrated.
Yeah, his determination is something else. Does he notice anything else as they leave?
He does. He actually pauses to take in the scenery of Longzhong. The source notes his appreciation for it, describes the mountains as not high but elegant, the water not deep but clear.
So a kind of subtle beauty.
Exactly. Land not wide but flat, forest not big but lush, and everything in harmony. Apes and cranes friendly, pines and bamboos intertwine. It's like the place itself reflects the kind of wisdom he's seeking.
A peaceful place.
Very much so. But just as they're leaving, maybe feeling a bit down, another encounter.
Oh, who is it this time?
They see a man coming down a mountain path. He looks quite distinguished, handsome, wearing this sort of leisurely cap, a simple black robe, carrying a staff.
And Liu Bei immediately thinks,
This has got to be him. This must be Wulong. He quickly gets off his horse, bows very respectfully. Hope surges again.
Okay, is it him this time? Please say yes.
Sorry to disappoint again, but no, it's not Zhu Liang.
Her. Who is it then?
The man introduces himself as Kui Zuping. He says he's a friend of Kongming, that's Zhu Liang's courtesy name.
Ah, okay, a friend. Well, that's something. Does Liu Bei talk to him?
Oh, yes. Liu Bei, ever polite, invites him to sit down for a moment. And he gets straight to the point asking Kui Zuping about, well, how to bring peace to the world, his main quest.
And what does Kui Zuping say? Does he have any ideas?
His response is fascinating. And maybe not what Liu Bei wanted to hear. He sort of smiles and says that governance and chaos, they just, come and go. It's always been like that.
Like a cycle?
Exactly. He gives historical examples, the Han Dynasty, rising after the chaos of the Qin, then peace, then chaos again with Wang Mang, then Emperor Guangwu restoring order.
Okay, showing a pattern.
Right. And his interpretation of their current time. Well, after centuries of Han peace, things are chaotic again. It's the natural shift, he says, from order into chaos, and you can't just force it back quickly.
So he's basically telling Liu Bei, dude, you're fighting against the tide.
Pretty much. He even warns him that trying to turn the heavens and mend the universe, lovely phrase, that might just be a futile waste of effort.
Ouch. That sounds quite fatalistic. Does he offer any, advice based on this?
He does, in the form of these philosophical proverbs, things like, those who follow heaven are at ease, those who go against heaven labor. And where fate lies, principles cannot override. Where destiny lies, people cannot force it.
Wow. Deep stuff. He's really pushing back against the idea that Liu Bei can just make things happen through willpower alone.
Absolutely. It's a direct challenge to Liu Bei's whole mission, isn't it? Liu Bei is all about action, duty, restoring the Han. Kui Zuping is talking about acceptance, destiny, the limits of human effort.
So how does Liu Bei react to this? He can't just agree, surely.
No, he doesn't. He's respectful. He acknowledges Kui Zuping's high view, as he puts it, but then he firmly states his position.
Because
He says, basically, look, I appreciate your perspective, but I'm a descendant of Han royalty. It's my duty to support the dynasty. I can't just abandon that to fate.
good for him, sticking to his guns.
Definitely. He respects the wisdom, but holds fast to his own convictions and sense of responsibility.
How does Kui Zuping take that?
He's quite humble about it. He sort of waves it off, saying, oh, I'm just a mountain man. What do I know about world affairs? He doesn't really commit on Kongming's whereabouts either.
And does Liu Bei try to recruit him? Since he seems wise, even if his philosophy is different?
He probably would have, but Kui Zuping makes it clear he's not interested. He says he prefers leisure and freedom over fame and fortune. He's a true recluse.
Okay, so another dead end, in a way. How's Zhang Fei handling this exchange?
Oh, Zhang Fei is fuming. He blurts out something like, what a useless scholar, all this idle talk. He calls Kui Zuping a corrupt or rotten scholar, no patience for philosophy.
Typical Zhang Fei. But Liu Bei.
Liu Bei sees it differently. He corrects Zhang Fei, saying Kui Zuping's words are the words of a recluse. He recognizes the value in that perspective, even if it's not his own path. It shows Liu Bei's own depth, I think.
Liu Bei, he gets back to Xinye after the second failed trip, and just a few days later.
He's already on it again.
Right. Sends someone straight away to check if the crouching dragon, that's Zhu Liang, is home yet. It shows that focus, but also, doing the groundwork first.
And the second he hears Zhu Liang is back, he's getting his horse ready, no delay.
But then you get that classic Zhang Fei moment.
Ah, yes. Ever the practical one.
He basically asks Liu Bei, why do you need to go? He calls Zhu Liang just a village fellow. Says they can just summon him, send a message,
Yeah, get over here.
Exactly. And Liu Bei's reaction is just crucial here. He shuts that down hard.
He quotes Mensis, doesn't he?
He does. To wish to see a worthy man but not to approach him by the right path is like wishing him to enter but shutting the door.
Wow.
He makes it clear Zhu Liang isn't just anybody. He's a great sage of his time. It's about respect. Earning respect by showing it.
That's such a key leadership point right there. It's the how.
Absolutely. It's your first big takeaway, really. Influence isn't just transactional. It's built on genuine deference, especially when seeking wisdom.
Okay, so principle established. Liu Bei, Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, they set out again. But putting principles into action often means facing challenges.
Oh, definitely. And this journey. Not exactly a pleasant stroll.
Oh, no kidding. The descriptions are intense. Deep winter, freezing cold, thick, dark clouds.
Fierce north wind, heavy snow. The whole landscape's transformed. They talk about mountains like jade clusters and forests adorned in silver.
You can almost feel that chill just reading it. It's a real test.
And who feels that test most acutely? Zhang Fei, of course.
He's basically saying, are we still doing this?
Pretty much. He grumbles again. It's cold and freezing, he says. Not even weather for a military campaign, let alone chasing after some useless person.
Ouch. Useless person. He really doesn't get it yet.
Not at all. He suggests they just turn back, head to Xinye, get out of the wind and snow. You can just picture him, miserable.
Well, Liu Bei, his response here is really something.
It really underlines his resolve, doesn't it? He says he wants Zhuge Liang to see his sincere intentions. He needs Zhuge Liang to understand how serious he is.
And then he even tells Zhang Fei and Guan Yu, hey, if you're too cold, you guys can go back.
Right. Which is fascinating. Is it just conviction, or is he maybe subtly testing their loyalty too?
Good question. It certainly forces them to commit.
And Zhang Fei, despite all his complaining, steps up. He says something like, I'm not afraid of death, so why would I fear the cold?
Classic Zhang Fei. Loyal to the end, even when grumbling.
Exactly. He says his only worry is Liu Bei wasting his energy in vain. But Liu Bei's just like, nope, just follow me, holding firm to that vision.
Inspiring loyalty even through the misery. Okay, so they push on through the snow, and then comes for me one of the most intriguing parts.
The inn.
Yes. They're getting close to the cottage, and suddenly they hear singing from a roadside inn, and Liu Bei just stops, pulls up his horse to listen.
It says a lot about him, doesn't it? He's not just focused on the destination. He's open, listening to the world around him.
So what are these songs about? They seem pretty important.
Oh, they're incredibly profound. The first one, it talks about a brave man whose deeds were not yet accomplished. Someone waiting for their moment, their spring.
Okay, that sounds relevant to Liu Bei.
Definitely. And it references Jiang Ziya, this legendary strategist, the wise old man of the East Sea, who came from nowhere, met King Wen, and helped found a dynasty.
Ah, the historical parallel.
Right. It talks about battle, success, eagle-like splendor. Then it shifts to Han Xin, another famous general, the high-hatted drinker, who also rose from obscurity under Liu Bang, the founder of the Han Dynasty.
So it's a song about ambition, about achieving greatness, changing the world.
Exactly. Lofty talk, startling listeners, achieving incredible things. The song even ends by saying, basically, who could even be called a hero today compared to these guys? They set the standard.
Wow. Okay, that's intense. And then there's a second song.
Yes, someone else starts singing, tapping the table. And it's a complete contrast.
How so?
This one starts with the Han Dynasty's founding, the emperor clearing the world, 400 years of legacy. But then it laments the decline.
The chaos they're living in now.
Precisely. Emperors Huan and Lang, treacherous ministers, villains meddling. It paints this really dark picture.
Ominous signs. Like a green snake near the throne, a demonic rainbow. Creepy stuff.
Yeah, reflecting the disorder. Bandits like ants, warlords like eagles soaring, total chaos.
A world Liu Bei is desperately trying to fix.
Right. But here's the kicker. The singers themselves, they aren't heroes. They just sigh and clap their hands in vain, drinking cheap wine.
So what's their solution?
Finding peace by cultivating themselves alone. They see no need for immortal fame. It's about withdrawal, personal peace, not diving into the mess.
So one song is about ambition and action, the other about retreat and contemplation.
Exactly. Two totally different responses to troubled times.
And Liu Bei hears this, and he thinks,
The crouching dragon must be here. He's filled with hope. He hears this level of discourse, this depth of thought about the state of the world, and assumes it must be Zhuge Liang.
So he gets off his horse, goes into the inn, the classic hero finds destiny in a tavern moment, almost.
Almost. Inside, he sees two guys drinking. One's pale-faced with a long beard, the other has a clear and ancient appearance.
Looks promising.
So Liu Bei, showing that humility again, bows respectfully and asks basically, which one of you is the crouching dragon? He introduces himself, explains he's seeking skills to save the world and bring peace.
Laying it all out there.
But, plot twist.
Ah, not him.
Nope. The long-bearded man says essentially, that's not us, we're just his friends.
Oh, friends of the dragon. Shi Guangguan and Meng Gongwei?
That's them. Shi Guangquan from Yingchuan, Meng Gongwei from Runan. And this is actually genius, narratively.
How do you mean?
Well, think about it. These aren't just random drinkers. They're clearly intelligent, thoughtful guys discussing history and philosophy at a high level, even while calling themselves lazy people of the mountains and fields.
Right, they're downplaying their own intellect.
Exactly. They're the kind of people a great mind like Zhuge Liang would hang out with. They sort of act as, well, gatekeepers, maybe? Testing Liu Bei's sincerity one last time.
Interesting. Proving the quality of the network around Zhu Gang.
Precisely. It shows the kind of intellectual circle Liu Bei is trying to enter.
So Liu Bei, he's pleased to meet them anyway, right? He's heard their names.
Oh yeah, he invites them to come along to Zhu Liang's place. Let's all chat.
But they decline.
Politely, yes.
Yeah.
Kongming says they're just lazy people not suited for governing the country. Basically, nice offer, but you should keep looking for the man himself.
So even meeting the friends becomes part of the test, reinforcing Liu Bei's commitment. Liu Bei, right, making this tough journey again to Wulong. The text says he rides straight there, gets off his horse, and boom, immediately asks this young boy, is Sir at home? And the boy says, now in the hall reading. You can just, feel Liu Bei thinking, yes, finally.
Yeah, and what jumps out immediately is how Liu Bei approaches this. He comes himself. He doesn't send someone else. Now, in that cultural context, for a leader like Liu Bei to do this, especially repeatedly in bad weather, it's a huge sign of respect, sincerity. It's almost strategic humility. It shows how badly he needs this person, how much he values him.
Right. So he follows the boy inside through the main gate, and he spots something really interesting. There's this couplet written big right on the door. It reads, "Oretu desatu," which translates roughly to live plainly to show ambition, be tranquil to achieve far-reaching goals. What does that tell us right away, before we even meet the guy?
Well, it's not just some nice words, is it? It's his philosophy.
Yeah.
Right there. It tells you he understands that big goals, real ambition, they don't come from frantic rushing around. They come from clarity, from foresight. And that tranquility, that inner calm, that's where the foresight comes from. So his calmness isn't like being passive. It's actually a source of strength. It lets him see the bigger picture, a key insight into his strategic mind, really.
And then there's more. Liu Bei hears this beautiful song. Coming from inside the main hall, he looks in and there's a young man inside, kind of hugging a brazier to keep warm, singing. And the lyrics, they're packed with symbolism. A phoenix soars 1,000 fathoms, but only perches on the tai tree. That's the phoenix tree. A scholar lives hidden away, but only serves a worthy lord. Happy to farm in the fields, I love my humble dwelling. Content to find pride in my zither and books, I await heaven's timing.
Okay, so if you look at the bigger picture, this song, it's basically Zhu Liang introducing himself through metaphor. The phoenix needing the right tree, the scholar needing the right lord, that's him talking about his own potential, and crucially his conditions. He's not just up for grabs for anyone. And that line, await heaven's timing, that's key. It's not just waiting passively for fate. It's about finding the right leader, the right moment. He's setting the bar incredibly high.
So Liu Bei, obviously thinking this is him, Wulong, he steps forward, introduces himself, says sorry about missing him last time, mentions braving the wind and snow again. He must have thought, okay, this is it, such a buildup. But then what happens? It's not even him. How does this mistaken identity thing play into the story the novel's building?
Oh, it's brilliant storytelling, isn't it? Pure narrative tension. Just ramps up the mystique around Zhu Liang, makes him seem even more singular, hard to reach. It tells you his wisdom isn't just lying around waiting to be picked up. You have to earn access. It makes you think, wow, if it's this hard just to find him, his advice must be incredible. And the young man very politely corrects him. I am Wulong's younger brother, Zuki Jun. He mentions the other brothers, Zuki Jin, serving Sun Quan, and that Kongming Zuki Liang is the middle one.
Okay, so Liu Bei's disappointed, obviously, but he doesn't give up. He asks Siju Jun, well, where's your brother then? And the answer Jun gives is fascinating. Paints this picture of Kongming's life. He either travels by small boat on the rivers and lakes, or visits monks and Taoists in the mountains, or seeks out friends in villages, or enjoys kin and chests in caves. His whereabouts are unpredictable. Basically, I have no idea where he is.
Right. And what's powerful about that description is, well, it's not the life of your typical scholar tied to a desk, is it? Or some court official. So you have to ask, how does this kind of life, this sort of detached wandering, how does that shape a strategist? It suggests a mind that's constantly observing, learning from all sorts of different people, different environments, mountains, rivers, villages, monks. It's like practical intelligence gathering, seeing patterns everywhere, not just in books. That kind of thinking would be gold for strategy.
Meanwhile, Zhang Fei, Liu Bei's famously blunt general. He's like, come on, let's go. The snow's getting worse. Practical guy. But Liu Bei says no. He wants to leave a message. He's determined. So he asks Zhuge for the 4 treasures of the study: paper, brush, inkstone, inkstick. And he writes this letter. A really heartfelt letter.
Yeah.
And this letter, it's pretty crucial. He talks about how much he admires Wulong, how sorry he is for missing him, how worried he is about the Han dynasty falling apart. And he's incredibly humble. Admits his own strategic shortcomings. The text says, Hutir, basically, I lack the big strategies. Then he makes this big plea, asking Wulong to use his amazing talents, comparing him to legendary strategists like Lu Wang and Zifang to save the empire. And he promises to come back after fasting and bathing, showing just like maximum respect and sincerity.
Exactly. And that letter, it's not just begging. It's actually a masterclass in persuasion for that time and culture. Liu Bei hits all the right notes. He appeals to Zhuge Liang's skill, yes, but also, crucially, to his loyalty, to the Han, to his moral duty to step up. Remember the song, "Only serves a worthy lord." Liu Bei is basically presenting himself as that worthy lord, not by bragging, but through humility and showing they share this deep concern for the empire. It's a really smart way to connect with the values Zhuge Liang clearly holds. Remember the couplet on the door: duty, vision, tranquility. Liu Bei's letter taps right into that.
Okay, so he finishes the letter, gives it to Zhuge, and he's finally about to leave. But then, another twist. A young servant boy calls out, "The old master is coming." And this old man appears, riding a donkey, dressed warmly in a hat and fox fur, got a boy with him carrying wine all through this blizzard. And the old man starts reciting this amazing poem about the snow. Really vivid stuff. One night, the north wind was cold, 10,000 miles of thick clouds, and talks about snowflakes like jade dragons fighting, scales flying everywhere, covering everything, riding a donkey over a bridge, sighing at plum blossoms. Beautiful imagery. So Liu Bei, his hopes shoot up again. He quickly gets off his horse thinking, this has to be him, finally. It's almost funny, the repeated false alarms. But nope, Zhuge Jin steps in again, says this in Wolong. It's actually his Huang Chengyan, Zhuge Liang's father-in-law. And Huang Chengyan just says, oh yeah, that poem, just something I remembered hearing at my son-in-law's place.
See that pattern again. Expectation, then disappointment. It's not just drama, though. It does something else. It reinforces how special Zhuge Liang is. Like, even his in-laws are casually reciting profound poetry associated with them. It really builds the anticipation for the reader, for the listener. Makes you realize just how big a deal this guy is, how hard it is to actually pin him down.
Yeah.
Start wondering, is he doing this on purpose, testing Liu Bei, or is he just genuinely elusive?
So Liu Bei finally heads back to Xinye. And there's another poem in the text describing his journey back, reflecting the awful weather and just his deep disappointment. It captures the mood perfectly. One day, wind and snow visit the worthy. Failing to meet them, the feeling is sorrow. Talks about frozen streams, slippery rocks, the cold. Pear blossoms fall in front, willow catkins fly wildly, turning back and stopping the whip, looking into the distance, silver piled high on Wulong Gang. Just this image of looking back at the snow-covered mountain where the guy he needs still isn't.
That imagery, it really drives home Liu Bei's persistence, doesn't it? His sheer grit. It makes you think, I mean, what kind of leader puts up with that? The physical hardship, the repeated letdowns, all for one person. It says a lot about his conviction, his vision, how important he believed finding the right strategist was.
And it seems that conviction holds. Because time passes, spring arrives, and Liu Bei starts preparing for attempt number 3. He consults a diviner, does rituals fasting for 3 days, bathing, changing clothes, really pulling out all the stops, preparing himself spiritually almost. But, this intense focus, this obsession, maybe, it's starting to annoy his closest followers, Guan Yu and Zheng Fei. They're clearly not happy about going again. And the last lines of our section hint at this growing unease in his camp. Something like, high sages not yet convinced by hero's ambition, bending the knee still causes suspicions among outstanding men. Like his own guys are starting to doubt this quest. So we've seen Liu Bei's incredible persistence, his humility tested again and again. But this story, it also kind of shows you, doesn't it, that attracting truly great talent, maybe it takes more than just a job offer. It demands, a real show of character, vision, commitment that just won't quit.